to Chiefs Kingdom. Your boy Papa Shro back with Week 3 film review. And how about this Week 3? Big game for the Kansas City Chiefs, really getting back on track. And we're going to start with defense with this game against the Bears on Sunday at home, as the offense is really the meat and potatoes of this thing. Looking at what they could do against the Bears. The Chiefs head to New York next for a Sunday night matchup in against the Jets. And, of course, I think this is like at least the third time that Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes were supposed to meet in the NFL, and we have never seen it. Mahomes injured the first game, and then the second game was supposed to be at Arrowhead. The first game, I think, the first game was at Arrowhead too. So second game was supposed to be at Arrowhead, and that was, I can't remember why Rodgers missed that game. I almost want to say it was a COVID related thing, but I can't remember 100%. But that was the Jordan Love, his first start in the NFL was against Chiefs, and so we're not going to get to see that matchup on Sunday. But either way, to this Bears game, big game for the Chiefs all around. Patrick Mahomes first or quickest to 25,000 yards as a quarterback, and Andy Reid also got his a win to put him at fourth all time in wins in the NFL. So to get right into it, I mean, Spags is having a lot of fun with this defense this year, and really looking like a top unit. So far, fourth in points allowed, fourth fewest points allowed by this defense, and the sixth fewest passing yards allowed in the NFL right now. Looking like a real top 10 unit right now. Looks like they could be, one of the best units in the league. I think going down the season. So I think the Jets matchup is very favorable with no Aaron Rodgers for the Chiefs. But so let's get right into this film to start with the defense. And this one right here, they're just gonna destroy this run. Spags in 6. This other view will be really a better view of it. But McDuffie and Tranquil getting home on this run, just boom, immediately in the backfield. And Drew Tranquil really had a good game, stepping in for Nick Bolton, obviously injured. I kind of touched on that in my blog for this week. Over there on Substack, but you see McDuffie over here, Tranquil on this side. They send 6, just easy money, and the Chiefs have really just killed the run this year so far. I think they've done really well on the run. And Trent McDuffie, I don't think it can be said enough how great he's been. He's the top-rated cornerback in the league right now. I think it's a 90.6 overall rating, and there's no other DB above 80. So just leaps and bounds above everybody else right now. This is all coming from the opening drive for the Bears. And right here, Chris Jones just breaks free, makes a big play there in the middle, a little bit of chippiness afterwards. But really, Drew Tranquil, this is another big Drew Tranquil play right here. You watch him right here on your screen right there in the middle. He's kind of just playing over the middle, but immediately right here, he sees Jones gets home. Go back a little bit. Jones just beats his man. Or no, this is Mike Dana. Mike Dana just beats his man straight up the middle, and immediately Drew Tranquil is ready. He's there. He sees what's happening. He knows Justin Fields is going to take off. And the recognition right there is just great. Really pointed out Leo Chanel last week for kind of the same thing, just the recognition. And right there, immediately, he's looking out this way. He's trying to see if anyone's coming over the middle, and immediately sees Dana's there and is just going to come down on Justin Fields. I'm going to go back to this other angle real quick, just kind of see what was going on, what Tranquil was kind of looking at in the middle of the field. Got 3 wide receivers over here. It looks like Claypool's breaking towards the middle, so I think what Tranquil was kind of looking at. There, I'm going to go back just a little bit. Yeah, Tranquil just making sure someone's there. And I don't think that he's in a position to see Cook, but that just kind of shows the trust that the defense has within one another. You've got Watson, McDuffie, Reed all over here taking these three receivers. You've got deep help. Cook down here in the middle. Tranquil feels confident enough. Okay, they've got this behind me. Cook's in the middle of the field. Justin Fields is getting hit right now. Dana can't bring him down. And great play by Justin Fields just to get back to the line. I think he got back to the line of scrimmage pretty much. But great recognition right there by Drew Tranquil. Great job by Mike Dana. And Mike Dana's been fantastic these first 3 weeks of the season. Really, really stepped up and had a big start to the season. I think that was Leo Chanel on the help. Go back and just... Yeah, it looks like that was Leo. All right, next play. And this one again, defensive line just overpowering the Bears' offensive line. And based on a little bit of tape I watched on the Jets, the Patriots were kind of just overpowering their offensive line too. And I'd really expect to have the Chiefs to kind of have a field day with that offensive line. And Chris Jones lining up out wide like that, he's just unbeatable out here pretty much. I mean, just that right tackle has nothing for Chris Jones. Karlaftis does a good job on the other side. Jones is the one that ends up getting there and getting the sack, but Karlaftis over here to just point him out. Gets Kmet for a second, left tackle, gets some help. But a great play all around. And, that defensive line just, man, they are really have been just solid so far. So this next play kind of on a run fit here. And this one, everybody just taking their lane. There was a play in here where Willie Gay at one point kind of overshot. And it wasn't a huge gain that they gave up, but there were some big run plays. But when the Chiefs are on their run game on the defense, I think that they are super solid. Just everybody in the right place. There's really just nowhere. I think this is Herbert carrying the ball, but there's really just nowhere for Herbert to go. Everybody's there, and that's there's just nowhere to go. Just exactly what you want to see out of the defense on a run play. He tries to bounce it all the way outside and just cannot get there. I think that's Willie Gay that got the trip. Oh, it's Johnson. All right, next one on the screenplay, and McDuffie doing his thing on the screenplay. They faced a lot of screens against the Jags, similar to this. And McDuffie just comes in and makes a play. This angle shows great. He just right there, boom. He sees the ball. He says, "I'm gonna take that," and just boom, knocks the ball free, gets it out. Willie going over, recovers, but just a great play by McDuffie. Kind of on a block here, just shoots over, and he just goes straight for the ball. That hand just takes the ball right out of the ball carrier's hands. Cook there ready just in case anything happens. But McDuffie having an insanely good start to the season, and it's really good to see after he started off his rookie season hurt. Missed a few games. I can't remember how many games he missed exactly, but being able to jump in here now, sophomore season, and have the year he's having so far, I mean, part of why the Chiefs defense is becoming elite at this point. And so moving right on to the next one, this is the second turnover in the first half. And just a big play by Justin Reed to be able to get there in the passing lane. And Mike Edwards gets an interception. And right here, just to point out Reed, here's both of your guys that are going to make the play. Reed's going to get in this passing lane, tip the ball. Edwards is just going to take advantage of it. They bring just a four-man rush. Drew Tranquil kind of on a spy here. Kind of protecting the middle of the field, and you see Reed just gets there. He's kind of trying to stay on Cole Kmet. But as soon as he sees Fields start to go, you see Reed is kind of moving to his right to protect against that route of Cole Kmet. Sees the ball is about to come out, knows it's not going to his man, but he sees where it's going to go in the passing lane and immediately starts to make a move just off the fingertips. That puts the ball right over Claypool, the guy that Fields is trying to go to, and Edwards just says, "I'll take that." And that led to more points. That was the second turnover. And really, that whole sequence from the McDuffie forced fumble to the Edwards interception, in the middle, there was one play. So there's 3 plays right there. And I don't have that play on here, but the one play they had was that deep ball to DJ Moore that hit him in the hands, and really just a perfect ball by Justin Fields. Just put it right over Snead, right into DJ Moore's hands. Couldn't come up with the play. It was, definitely a tough play, but probably should have came up with it. Would have been a big, probably 30, 40-yard gain. And, for that sequence to happen, you get forced fumble, almost a big play, dropped by your top receiver, and then an interception, really deflating right there at the end of the first half. So here's one straight over to the middle of the field. Fields gets the ball there just a little late. Josh Williams makes a good play. This is Claypool, I think, on the deep route. But Fields, right here, I think at this point, you maybe let go of the ball. Shout out to Chase Daniel for breaking this play down that I saw. But kind of how he was breaking it down too. Just, you got to get that ball out earlier. But good defense to recover for Josh Williams there and get to the ball and be able to make a big play that's right there at the end of the first half. So now starting off in the second half, Willie flying in on a blitz. It's Mike Dana that gets there with the sack on this one. This one's just a 5-man rush. So they do bring a little blitz. Willie off the edge on the left side. Nobody there. He comes in untouched. Got Leo, Chanel, Drew Tranquil, and Willie Gay in the middle on the linebackers. Willie just comes in unprotected. Fields sees it. Left tackle's not able to hold off Dana long enough to let Fields get out of the pocket. And right on in this next play, this play I wanted to point out Trent McDuffie too. This one kind of, trying to point out, just show how well he's done to start this season. You get McDuffie down here. You got three receivers, Watson, Cook back on the help. But just McDuffie right here just kind of plays where he's needed to be and sees it immediately. And already he sees this route coming back on the other side. So now he's setting himself up in position to take your guy coming from the other side, working across the field. Just have nothing there. And a great tackle by Snead on the other side. Immediately as the pass gets to the ball carrier. I think that is Herbert out there. Immediately, boom, big tackle. But just to show off what, just go back real quick, just what McDuffie is doing and just his recognition here to see, okay, Watson's got this guy. I'm going for 11. Okay, 11's working across the field. We got Snead over there. My guy's crossing back over, immediately knowing where to be. And to stay kind of in those passing lanes to help out with Watson over here as well. Knowing he's got a little bit of time to work back across the field on this crosser. Because even when he recognizes it here, still kind of takes a few steps back, help with Watson, and Kmet crossing as well. All right, sit down, come up and take this route off. Fields is going across the field to Herbert at this point already to the check down. Just a great play. And just what McDuffie's been doing all season at the beginning of this year. This one also I saw pointed out by Chase Daniel on his film review that he had of Justin Fields. Just an interesting little play, actually, that the Bears designed here, as you've got a fake toss one way, come out the other way, and you got a receiver here picking up to give Justin Fields enough time, and a really wild throw. Patrick Mahomes-esque, kind of sidearm straight through two defenders, worked it around him to get to Cole Kmet, and it was a first down play. But just to look at it from the other angle real quick, just to kind of see, you're going to see, I think it's, yeah, he comes down to make the block. They're going to fake the toss one way, line going that way. The whole line's going to jump up to the right side. And then you get a receiver to come in and make that last block to give enough time for Justin Fields to kind of try to make a play there. It ended up working out, but it is a little bit dangerous of a play. But I do like how they had that receiver come in and block and just kind of almost an option kind of play there. All right, so now let's get into this offense. Opening drive for the offense right here. And, I mean, this one is just Kelce and Mahomes kind of just doing what they do. Kelce just finding the open space, and Mahomes working his own, giving himself his own time. But you see Kelce here, I mean, both the nearest defenders, 5 yards away. And just a wide open space. Mahomes sees it, ready to throw. Gets it there, first down, Chiefs. And, I mean, it's just what these guys do. Kelce is just able to find open space. Really, it feels like 9 times out of 10. And you got Mahomes just giving himself time, moving around in the pocket, finding a lane to throw in. He finds Kelce. This one, I think, now we're on the second drive of the game. Just a quick little play action. Big completion to Sky Moore. I think it's interesting how they have been using tight ends pretty much as fullbacks. They've liked to run this formation right here where you got running back, tight end, that's Kelce on the left side of Mahomes, and you got 3 receivers out wide. And that's Noah Gray, the tight end that's coming in the motion. So now you got 2 tight ends in here ready, to block if it's a run play. Defense all kind of reacting. They're all, ready for the run. Sky Moore's just going to work his way past that second level. And you got 1 guy deep, 2 guys kind of up here taking the next level of the field. And Sky Moore pretty much just finds a soft spot in the zone. And again, same thing like the last play of the Kelce. Really no one within 5 yards of him in any direction. Just a nice play. It's good to see Sky Moore getting open and getting these targets too. Because really at this point, this offense, doesn't really have a true number one. It's kind of how it's been for the Chiefs the last couple of years. But they do have a group of guys that are all pretty solid and I think good role players. And I think that's all this offense needs, really. So now we go to the first Jet McKinnon touchdown. I also really like this play, just the design of it. You got Sky Moore coming down in motion. And they're going to fake the little toss, kind of get this defender out, trying to figure out what's going on here. Probably think Sky Moore is about to get this ball, and they're going to try to jet sweep it out. You got 87, 83 over here ready to block for it. That's definitely what the play design looks like and what it's designed to look like. They fake it, and just a quick little throw to McKinnon here. And now this guy's kind of thinking, where am I going? Maybe it kind of looks like maybe an option Mahomes goes, or we're just looking for a route out here, but just a quick pitch. And McKinnon in for the touchdown. Really easy money once they make that play. Moore goes in motion one way, comes back the other, and just the quickness and decisiveness of Mahomes to just go straight to that McKinnon route. This one's still in the first half. It was good to see Clyde Edwards-Helaire get some runs like this. There was a couple of big runs that he had, and I think the Chiefs are better when both their backs are doing their thing, and just a great move on the linebacker right there by Edwards-Helaire. Just kind of a counter out of the gun, and Edwards-Helaire gets a nice gain and keeps the Chiefs moving, keeps the offense going. Play action to Isaiah Pacheco on this one, and this is one of those just Mahomes plays. I mean, this throw, steps up in the pocket, running, and just launches it. And just in the perfect spot. Only Justin Watson could have got that ball. Kind of look at the protection here. Kelsey's got a block over here. Jawan Taylor doing a good job making sure no one's getting through. And I think that's Tooney over here that just threw his guy. Smith kind of gets beat. Tooney helps out. And just a throw while he's getting hit right there, right on the money. We are definitely spoiled in Kansas City. Just takes the hit right on the money. There's no one else is getting to that ball except Justin Watson. Justin Watson makes a great catch, and Justin Watson's been phenomenal these first 3 weeks of the season too. Here's the trick play from the first half. It's a toss out to McKinnon, lateral back to Mahomes, and then a pass to Noah Gray. And even this throw too. This throw off of Mahomes' back foot. A lot of strength in the throw. Just kind of going sideways too. I just want to throw this trick play in there just because it was a fun one to watch, especially being at the game. It was. I feel like it's always wild when you see a trick play kind of happening in real time from the stands, just because. Like last year in the playoff game when Kelsey laterals the ball back to McKinnon, they fumble. Is just one of those just shock and awe moments of the game. You get the pitch, the lateral back, just that throw. Not a huge gain though. Not probably what they were looking for. And here's Pacheco on a big run. And so just pointing out the run in this game. The run game for the Chiefs, when the run game is on, I mean, it makes the Chiefs so much better. And for them to feel the confidence to run the ball, because Andy Reid, is not a big fan of running the ball all the time. And to see that they ran the ball, I think it was 37 times or 32 times on designed runs to running backs. I think there was like 3 Mahomes runs and 2 Gabbert runs. As he came in the second half. Mahomes only played one drive in the third quarter. And just right here, the blocking, everything works out. They kind of let this guy up front go. Tooney kind of puts an arm on him. Smith kind of puts a hand on him. They know Pacheco's going to beat him. Smith kind of turns around to just make sure he doesn't get back to Pacheco. Everywhere else, Creed doing what Creed does. Tooney gets up to the second level, gets Edmonds, and just create gaps everywhere. Now, also with Smith and Taylor, they both were better in the run game than they were in the pass game, blocking-wise, grade-wise. And I think that really helped the Chiefs out to kind of get to where they needed to be on this ground game. And, for the second half, being able to kind of rely on that run game, chew the clock, and, also just kind of make them use their run game and build some confidence in that run game. So hopefully, moving forward, they will really be able to lean on that, because I think that was a big part of the Jaguars game. that Andy mentioned in the press conference post game, and that he didn't feel they only ran the ball 2 times in the first half in Jacksonville, and one of his comments, he said something like that they weren't the run blocking stepped up in the second half, but to me it just seemed like, you're not even giving them the chance to show whether they can pull it off or not. So I don't know. The second half, they obviously did end up running the ball more and more effectively against the Jags, but this game hopefully kind of builds that foundation of knowing that they can go with that run game. And here's another one on a counter. Everybody's just hitting their blocks, giving the hole, and I mean Pacheco, the burst of speed he can provide to just get through. That's all he needs. Gray gets out here and seals this. Rashee Rice makes a nice block. And wide open, you got one-on-one against Brister. And Pacheco just cuts it back. And big gain on that counter play. But again, you just want to see the Chiefs be able to do that. They don't necessarily have to do that all the time, but they need to be able to do it. And trust in the run. This one right here, I think that Rashee Rice has a lot of potential. And even just like this, to kind of step into that Juju Smith-Schuster role that the Chiefs are missing. And, I wasn't very high on him in the preseason just from the drops and stuff. But, a little bit more of this, I think, and, just perfectly. Noah Gray floods out. You got MVS sitting down on a route here, right in the middle of the field. I mean, nobody relatively close to Rice here on this play. Have a check down maybe you could have went to. Everybody else kind of covered. I think, Noah Gray just kind of clearing out. That way to give some space to the underneath. And I think we all thought it was a touchdown immediately, but this one ends up being real close, but not quite a touchdown. But great play here. I think you're thinking either MVS or Rashee Rice is going to be open on this play, and Mahomes is ready for Rice to take the ball right up the middle. And this one here, I put in here just because at the end of the day, this is beautiful to see for the Chiefs. The short yardage situations have been so terrible for the Chiefs for the last few years, and to see them be able to go from the 1 yard line and just run the ball right up the gut for a touchdown is beautiful to see. Watson and MVS on the outside. You got Sky Moore on the other side. And really, this is just easy money. Everybody pretty much beats their guy. And Pop gets in for 6. This is later in the first half, man. Rashee Rice anytime touchdown bettors had to be livid this game. Because 2 different times, he is right there for a touchdown. And this one really very similar to the last one, because you're getting Kelsey on a clear out, just send him up to the end zone, take some guys with him. You got Watson sitting down on a route over here, Rice getting to the middle of the field. I think there's your check down out here, and then MVS on the other side. So really kind of same exact concept where MVS was on this side, kind of sat down on a turnaround route. Rice shoots up to the middle of the field while Noah Gray clears out the middle of the field with a streak. And same concept on this side. I would just flip it. And pretty much same location on the field. And they get Rice wide open and the exact same result. So, I mean, obviously they're seeing something in the defense, and the way the linebackers were playing, I mean, they played the last one the exact same way, where both of them kind of just moved out, left the middle of the field open, and Andy Reid tested it again, and he got the same result. And again, everybody thinks it's a touchdown again, but not quite. So this is the MVS touchdown that wasn't big play. The crowd was kind of going wild before we noticed the penalty marker on the field. I think the penalty marker was somewhere up here. I remember seeing it on the top side of the field. So what they're gonna call here is illegal formation. And Andy Reid was upset with this after the game. He feels like Taylor's really getting targeted. Felt like they did enough in week 2. They proved their point, and now they need to kind of chill out with it. But it's really close. I feel it's really close. I mean, when you look at it, you can call the illegal formation, but it's just that's really close. The helmet's supposed to line up on the belt line of the center, and I mean I feel like you're pretty close there. I feel like they may be nitpicking a little bit, but at the same time, I mean, he is a little bit further back. So I do understand the call and what the NFL's trying to do. But just to look at this play, I mean, they just absolutely destroyed the Bears' coverage on this play. Justin Ross is taking his guy across the field. MVS is working on a deep cross right here, and Brister is expecting this guy to come back. Or maybe he's just expecting the deep help, but you got Sky Moore kind of clearing that out up here. Oops. So Brister's expecting one of these two guys to take this route. He's passing MVS off to take Justin Ross. And that is not what happens at all. 32 goes with Justin Ross as well. Brister's now caught on this side of the field. You got the safety 22 up here taking this deep route. Just nobody. Nobody within 10 yards. Nobody within 20 yards at this point in the play. Easy money for a touchdown. It does come back because the illegal formation on Jawaan Taylor. Just wanted to point this play out just because of how terribly they beat the coverage, 1, and 2, because really it's just a close call. Andy didn't like it, and would have been a huge touchdown. To see somebody that wide open is insane. All right, so moving on to this next big play. MVS gets his big play back on somewhat of a similar play right here. You start with a bunch trio on one side. I believe that's Kelce over here on the other side. And MVS is just going to work his way around, kind of bend back around away. Sky Moore coming down on a little turnaround. You got your check down. Both guys kind of watching both these routes. And then you've just got man coverage pretty much everywhere else and a single high safety. And I think MVS just beats his man. He falls down. But I think the safety sees that at this point. He knows he's got to come help with that. But not knowing what Kelce's going to do, you also have to watch for that. And I mean, at this point, the ball is already almost at the 40-yard line. Mahomes already let that ball go. Kind of go back just to kind of see when exactly he releases the ball. I mean, he sets up to throw immediately. And kind of go back to that Justin Fields play earlier that we looked at with Claypool. I mean, Fields doesn't really release that ball until Claypool is kind of past this point, to beating his guy. That gives Josh Williams time to recover. And Mahomes just doesn't give the Bears defense any time to recover. Just lets the ball fly. And it is a huge gain going from, where did they start? I think their own 30 about is where he's throwing. Yeah, he's throwing that ball from their own, 28-yard line? 27, 28. Throwing the ball to the 35, and they get down almost to inside the red zone, about to the 22. So huge play for the Chiefs right there. And this is to start the second half. So that MVS touchdown that wasn't right there at the end of the first half. And then now we're looking at the second half. The beginning of the second half, we're going to start this, or finish this thing off with this Kelce touchdown. This is the last play for Mahomes on the day. And really, at this point, the Chiefs kind of coasted. It's 34-0 already, and this made it 41-0. And just again, when Mahomes is releasing the ball, you've got Edmonds in the middle here watching. He just floats that thing right over Edmonds. He tries to get to it. Kelce in the back of the end zone. And really just easy. It's nice to see Justin Ross up here. Justin Ross got a more playing time than he's seen in the first couple of weeks of the season, and targeted a couple of times. So it's good to see him kind of start to get a little bit more involved in this offense, and just got MVS kind of on a route out here to the flat. Gray is just gonna come hit a turnaround. McKinnon out on the check down. I mean, Mahomes, he knows where he's going at this point. He sees Edmonds looking at Gray, maybe waiting for him to cut across the field. That doesn't really give him the ability to see. Kelce is just going to work right to the back of the end zone. Kind of just out of place. Needs to float back just a little bit. And at this point, Gray can kind of figure out what he wants to do. He's got, one man right here, but then Edmonds still kind of has to play that honest. But I feel like, you got to float back a little bit right there to be able to try to make this play. At this point, the ball's coming out. Easy money. 22 can't get back in time either. Kelce's pretty much alone in the back of the end zone. You get that separation between him and Edmonds. There's a few yards of separation right here. And just Kelce easy on the touchdown. So with that being said, Chiefs win 41-10. They put up a ton of offense. Obviously not the most offense of the week with the Dolphins scoring 70 points. But I do think that just a little bit of film that I watched on the Jets, I really do think the Chiefs have a really good opportunity to keep it going on offense. I think it's a good test right after a week where you had a dominating performance against, maybe not a top defense, but you're going to face a very tough defense next week. A good challenge to keep the offense on par. And, you score more points in week 3 than you did in the first 2 weeks combined for the Chiefs. So they did what they needed to do. They even got to rest a lot of the second half and kind of just coast through the game. And now with another tough defensive test, I think the defense gets another team that they can kind of handle pretty well with the Jets. And so I think that week 4 has the opportunity to be another kind of stepping stone week, kind of it almost feels like, in college when you play those lesser teams in the beginning of the season and kind of get your team ready to go for these big games. And I do like that a lot of these bigger games are kind of spread out later in the season with the Bills, the Bengals, even the Dolphins game. That Dolphins game in Germany is going to be fun at this point with how the Dolphins are playing. So I do expect the Chiefs to continue, kind of do what they're doing. We'll see Sunday night. It'll be Sunday Night Football on NBC. And obviously we'll be back to break that game down after it happens. I do think the Chiefs, though, have another good week. I'll be having my pregame breakdown blog up on Substack. So papasherknows.substack.com. Check that out if you have not yet. That's where I post all my blogs and kind of breaking down the games, giving my predictions each week. And if you enjoyed the video, go ahead, smash that like button, subscribe. We will be back with more content throughout the season.